In this video, I will show you some basic functions of Google Colab. Colab is a cloud-based IDE, which stands for Integrated Development Environment. And we'll use this as a tool in a way that will help us to develop out our syntax and engage with the software. You may think of Colab as a way to process the analytics. And the nice thing is that means we don't need to install this software. Well, it's being ran out of the cloud, so we don't need to install it locally because it's ran out of the cloud. Compared to other tools like Jupyter notebooks and things. So it's not accessible in the RAM is my point. Okay. So alternative, there is VS Code, Spider, Jupyter notebooks, which would be a local install, and VS Code is owned by Microsoft. But Colab does a lot of the heavy lifting for us, and so it minimizes the impact on the computer's RAM locally. Okay. So and then an alternative, we could use the terminal, which that's straight on the hard drive, and that's maximizing. If you have enough RAM, you can do that as well on your computer. So a little bit about cloud-based resources. And what I guess I'm saying is, to get started, we need to take a look at a particular web address. And this web address is here on the Google. So if you go to https://google.colab.google, that will take you to the main screen. And this is the front page, and we won't spend a lot of time here, but this is the direct link to the resource of the notebooks that we'll access within. Okay, and so once you get this, and I'm assuming that you have a Google account already established. If not, you need to have a Google account, and because it's going to be linked up, whatever notebook and works that we files that you save will automatically be synchronized. So if anything you do in Colab will synchronize up to your Google Docs. So click in the file here, and this is the front page, right? And it's just kind of a welcome screen, and you can watch the video. Well, I'm not going to do it here, but this is just kind of introduction to kind of get you used to what it looks like, the interface. And I will tell you, Colab is, so it's a prototyping type of software, and it doesn't mean it. I mean, it's a very strong one. I mean, it's used for artificial intelligence and machine learning, but some of the other ones, the IDEs I was sharing with you, the integrated development environments, have their benefits, right? But let me link up and type in my get signed into the Google account. Good old authorization. Hold on one sec. Okay. And so now the reason that was important to do that is that otherwise I wasn't signed in, so anything I saved, it wouldn't be going into my Google account. But now that that's done, we'll be, I'll show you a little bit later in about video 3 how when I hit save within the software, it'll be synchronized. Okay. So I'm going to walk through a few things here to familiarize you. Okay. So this is obviously is what it looks like, and it's the home screen that you always get whenever opening up the Google Colab. And so we are going to create a notebook, and whenever you start one, though, take a look right here. And if you see it says untitled 15.ipynb. So that's the first thing that happens whenever you create a new notebook. As you see the blinking mark here, that's called a cell block. Okay, so let's change this title real quick though. Hold on one sec. And rename it. Tutorial. And let's do with W Colab. There we go. And just clicking out of it, that will take you back. So again, this is a block, right? So think of these as a cell block, kind of like an Excel. When within the cell block, we can either have code or text. Okay, and we can let's type some basic stuff in here, and I'll show you text here in a little bit. But if we put 5 plus 5 and then hit Shift Enter, that's going to give us the output. Now, if you're on an Apple, that's going to be a Command Enter. Alternatively, you can hit the play. That little arrow is, and that will also. So think of an input-output model, right? So we put something in and we're getting something out. So if I do the 10 plus 10, push play, and then I can do it like that. So that's the way that we kind of extract out output whenever we're running our syntax, right? In our Python scripts. A shortcut is we can use the escape key. So if we want to insert blocks above or below, we can use the escape A, which will insert a block above. And then we can also do escape B, which will insert a block below. So, and I'll show you that here shortly. It's very useful, right? So when we start inputting code and I guess another thing I'd tell you is this is object-oriented programming, right? So here in a little bit, I'll show you how we assign a value to an object, right? But as I'm showing you here how to insert above and below, again, escape A will add a block above, and escape B will insert a cell block. By default, it's on code, right? So it's doing a code cell block below. So if we want to assign a value to A, right? And let's put in, how about 5? And if I hit, I could have hit the print, right? But if I can call the object as well. So either I type in print, which is a function, and parentheses A, which is the object. I get the output. Okay. Alternatively, another way to go about doing this is just calling A. Now, one thing I want to tell you is we're assigning an object. So this is a little bit of a Python / Colab familiarization and introduction, but it is important to understand what Python is as far as a language, and it's kind of like R, and they're both object-oriented. And so let's build out a few more values and assign it. Now, this being said, once I've done this, I've overwritten the prior value of A, so it's now no longer 5, right? So now we have a list, or excuse me, an array of numbers, okay? And so again, 2 ways to extract out output: either do print or call the object itself, and that will give you the value. What else would I tell you? If we had a data frame, it's a little bit more, but if we had a data frame and we call the object, it makes it in the HTML format. Whereas if we use a print, think of it like a copier, okay? So that's a straight non-interactive within Colab only, right? So so we can extract some HTML and we can run some cool analytics on it within Colab. A little bit beyond what these 3 videos I'm going to show you here today are. But Anyways, so adding text. We want to annotate or create a table of contents. We can do that quite easily, right? So we can just type in text and hit enter, shift enter, excuse me. Or if we want to create some headings for like a table of contents, we can do that as well, right? So if we go up here and let's type in heading, let me make that a 1. There we go. And heading 2, heading 3, and let's go heading 4. Okay, and you can see how these kind of vary in size, and it will. I'm not showing right now, but it builds out a table of contents. Okay. Let's see here. Something else to show you that as we do writing syntax and scripting, prompting, we want to make sure that we do our comments, and comments are really insightful for annotating purposes, because sometimes we forget what we maybe were thinking at that point in time, or we want to have a place of reference. And so by using the hashtag, it allows us to go back to maybe what something was at that point in time, or interpreting it. Okay, so that's why you'll see hashtags. Now when this block is ran, it's not going to run that hashtag. It only runs everything after the hashtag. Okay. Again, think of the cell as like the cell block or cell code like a cell block in Excel. We can do functions, we can do calculations within the cell, but we can make the dynamic usage of a cell in Python much more robust. Okay. So assigning an object. Let's build this out and let's go and let's create C as well. Okay. So now we can run multiple lines, just kind of demonstrating, we can run multiple lines of syntax within one code block. Okay. And the way to review this, we could either call each one of them individually or print. Let's go with the print, this just for purposes of coding. Okay, print A, print B, print C. And what you're going to notice right here on this 10.0, the last one for C, what that is that's called a float. Okay, so with a float, it defaults to that. We can turn that off with some formatting or rounding if we want to, or we can make that an integer. A little bit more beyond what this topic is about, but at least showing you. Okay, so we'll stop at this point and get ready for the second video. Thank you.